Hello everybody. I am probably not going to get to stream tonight, so I am sneaking in a little stream right now. So we're going to continue on with A Requiem for Innocence, which is part of the House in Fata Morgana. This is a prequel. It's focusing on Jacopo, at least for now. We just started it like, what, 3 days ago, I think? So, this will be the second part. Basically what happened up to this point is, well, Jacopo, this is during the period like, if you remember in the House of Fata Morgana, this is like sequentially, this is like the very first period, like way back around like 10,000, the year 1000, and this was back when Morgana was still alive. Was a slave to Lord Barnier, and Jacopo was also, well, he wasn't a slave. Jacopo's not a slave, but he's a peasant that lives on the land that belongs to the Lord Barnier. So he is currently plotting to overthrow Barnier, and start a revolt. What happened last time was he met this one of the slaves. I'm trying to remember his name. I can't think of it. But this slave challenged him to a duel, and it was part of his plot. Basically, he wanted to kill Barnier, or maybe one of the other lords that was there with him, and make it look like an accident. So he challenged Jacopo to a duel, and the idea was they would kind of secretly tell each other like what they were going to do in the fight, so that they could like parry each other's attacks and stuff, and then eventually their swords would break, and his hope was that when the sword broke, the blade would like fly into Barnier or one of the lords and kill them. That did not happen. One of the blades hit near where Barnier was, but it didn't hit him. So that's where we left off. Once we were out of the hall and in the corridor, I took several deep breaths, finally letting loose some of the tension that had built up within me. As we made our way through the corridors, the sound of the nobles laughing and chattering away amongst themselves faded into nothing. We headed for the rather barren waiting room where slaves without assignments were kept. In essence, it was a human closet. I looked up at Gratian. Okay, that's the slave's name that I was talking about. He was standing beside me. I had about a dozen things I wanted to say to him, but I couldn't organize my thoughts into words. So I simply shrugged and pursed my lips. Yeah, that was a shame. Huh? What was a shame? You were hoping to kill at least one noble when the swords broke, weren't you? Haha. If only. I'm not that skilled, hell no. You could have fooled me. If anything, I'd say we're lucky it went as well as it did. It's a damn good thing they gave us their old crusty swords, or we'd never manage to break them at all. If not to skewer one of the nobles, then why go to such lengths at all? Well, because otherwise we'd have had to fight to the death, of course. No, that's not what I'm... Of course, we both know who'd be standing here then. As much as I hate to admit it, he has me beat in almost every category. For God's sake, how did he even get that good with a sword? Is it hereditary or something? What I'm trying to figure out is what your ultimate objective was in this whole facade. Why challenge me to the duel at all? You're planning a revolt, aren't you, kid? What does that have to do with anything? Just answer the question. Denying it will only delay the inevitable, so no point in that. And I'm fairly certain he's not on the Lord's side, at least. If he was just trying to win the Lord's favor, I can't imagine the duel would have ended the way it did. I can probably trust him. Yes, I am. And I need the other slaves' help to pull it off. But the little drones have been sucked to all their fight, and you can't get anyone on board. Why even ask the question if you already know the answer? Hey now, no need for the lip, kid. I brought it up because I'm trying to tell you I'm in. You're in? Excuse me? What about anything you've done today would make me think you're in? Bear with me for a second. Put yourself in the other slaves' places. Some dick they never met before shows up out of the blue saying, I'm organized to have y'all set free and I need your help to do it. You think they're gonna buy into it? Fair enough. But it is true that I have people outside. It don't matter. You could be lying through your teeth and it wouldn't change a damn thing. All that matters is whether they think you're worth getting behind. I see your point. These slaves have been driven into the very depths of despair. They need someone charismatic enough to pull them out of that pit before they can be sparked to take any sort of action. Before infiltrating, I imagined it would be much simpler. It would seem that was rather naive of me. That was a whole lot of words to say the same thing I just said. Forget your fancy metaphors. It all boils down to this. Do they think you have a chance at pulling it off, yes or no? These people, they don't got the energy to get all philosophical. They go with their gut. And the quickest way to their gut? Show them you're strong. Ah, now I'm starting to understand what the other slaves already know of your prowess. So if I were to fight on the same level as you, then they'd be willing to hear you out, exactly. Ah. Whoa there, kid. Why the sigh? You're trying to blow this place down? You could have easily accomplished that without putting on a damn show in front of the Lord and putting my life in danger. It wasn't just for the other slaves, kid. What do you mean? I wanted to make sure you weren't some yellow-bellied pissant. That you're actually capable of doing what you promise. And now that I know you've got a semi-functional spine, I'm willing to help you out with the revolt. Semi-functional, huh? Well, I'm glad I didn't disappoint you then. Given my performance back there, I couldn't blame you if you deemed me beyond hope. Give yourself a little more credit, kid. While I'm pretty sure the stories about my ancestors being gladiators are exaggerated, I did participate in a few death games myself back before I ended up here. You should consider it a badge of honor that you fought a brute like me and lived to tell the tale. I was under the impression the church put an end to gladiatorial games. Alright, it went underground. The rules may change, but not people. Always a market for blood sports. Then, yada yada, I got sold to the Lord, and here I am. Well, that probably explains what he meant when he said he had given up on religion. So what's your story, kid? My money's on some rich aristocrat what got it in his head he wanted to play hero and stop the big bad lord from being mean to the slaves. What the hell gave you that idea? You strike me as more a prissy rich boy than a ruffian, is all. A prissy rich boy? I come from the slums. So no, I'm not just some upper-class punk playing hero. That a fact. Don't color me surprised. You sure don't talk or act like any of the slum boys I know. That's probably because... Nothing. And now I'm even more curious, damn it. Honestly, it's not that interesting, I promise. Forget I said anything. It's because I want to be able to blend in when I eventually leave the slums. But he doesn't need to know that. I only just met him. Whatever you say, then. In that case, how about we do some proper introductions, huh? Name's Gratien, which you should already know. Nice meeting you, kid. Jacopo. I'm very glad to have your support, Gratien. Don't mention it. I've been wanting to make the scumbags eat dirt myself, and this is the perfect chance. Oh, right. One more thing I wanted to ask. What? How old are you? Excuse me? Is that relevant to anything? Jeez, kid. Someone really needs to teach you how to shut up and answer a simple question. I'm 19. Oh, thank God. I'm 20. Now Now I don't have to feel like an ass for calling you kid. I'm only a year younger. That hardly makes me a kid. A year's a long time, kid. Now that I've got that off my shoulders, I can put up my all into helping with your revolt. I'm starting to wonder if I even want this guy's help. Once I had Gratian on board, it was remarkable how quick the rest of the slaves were to join in. They knew him and they respected him, and that respect went a long way toward improving my own standing. As far as they were concerned, I had fought Gratian and managed to hold my own. And the big man was right. It wasn't a clever plan or a moving speech these people needed to put the light back in their eyes. It was a show of strength. Over the next few days, as Barnier and his guests indulged themselves, word of the plan quietly spread beneath the surface. I started to see signs of life for the first time since I had arrived. The majority of the slaves were emaciated and weak. There was a good possibility the guards would kill many of them. But still, I urged on any who hesitated by saying, if you choose to stay, you're guaranteed to be killed eventually. It was true, to be sure, but in essence, I was threatening them, help or be left behind to die. And that was enough to convince them to grab onto the thread of hope I was offering, however frail it may be. We chose the 13th day of the banquet to commence the revolt. Waiting until almost the end of the party's usual 2-week duration gave us a slight tactical advantage. Naturally, Barnier's guests did not attend without their own protection. But after being made to watch over almost 2 weeks of debauchery, the guards would start getting exhausted. They would stop caring. And that was exactly what we needed. Hey there, Jacopo. Everything is good to go on my end. You can give Lord Asshole was coming whenever you're ready. Thank you. I appreciate all your help. Whoa there, kid. Save the thanks for after we get out of here with our heads still attached. Fair enough. Then, how about this? If we both survive, I'll take you to the best pub in the slums. As long as there are pretty ladies, count me in. And there's one I can introduce you to, if you don't mind your girl's headstrong and with a little bit of bite. Tough and pretty? Now that I can get behind. I've spent so long surrounded by all these half-dead drones that I could sure stand for some good-natured abuse right about now. Good-natured might be a bit of a stretch. Rub her the wrong way and you'll find yourself short a pair of jewels. Think I'll pass on that one then. I don't care how much of a looker she is. I ain't ready for her to be my last. How about this then? I tell you what I'm looking for, and you have someone picked out for me by the time this is all over. Flexible on the looks, but slender and short are a must. Meaty girls ain't really my type. Blonde hair and blue eyes are a plus, but it ain't a deal breaker. And I like them to be a bit... Slow down there. You got your head way too far in the clouds if you think you're going to find your ideal wife at a Bravo in the slums. Hey now,
How do you expect me to give this my all without something to look forward to on the other side?
I suppose it is a decent motivator.
See, you get me.
Now, on to business. You ready to do this?
I've been ready, kid. Just waiting for the word.
That's about as good an answer as I could have hoped for. Before we begin, I want to go over the plan one last time. After you've secured weapons from the armory, you take command of the other slaves and go open the gates. While you're doing that, I'll signal to my people outside, then cause a diversion. As long as we don't make too much noise, the Lord and the other nobles shouldn't realize anything is amiss until we're on top of them. As soon as the gates are open, you head for the Great Hall, where we'll rendezvous. We crash the party, and while the Lord and his friends are distracted, my people will lead the slaves to safety.
And then we swipe up all the shiny things we can carry and get our asses the high hell out of here.
Right. Can't forget the valuables.
Huzzah! I'm getting all sorts of fired up. Don't you trip and fall on some guard's sword before we even get to start our fun, you hear me?
Same to you. Well then, let's get going. May fate be on our side.
Damn right. Hey, what do you think you're doing? You're not supposed to be here. Get back to... Stay back! Don't make me kill you! Wait, stop! You're up. Come on and draw your bloody cards already.
Don't rush me, I'm thinking.
On with it. It's almost lunch. If I hold this and throw away these, then I could... Christ. You hear that? Sounds like something's happening downstairs. Quit trying to distract me. I ain't letting you run off with a pot like last time. No, I'm serious. Something's going on down there. It's probably just a slave getting beat. How are you not used to that by now? I don't know. Something feels off to me. I'm gonna go check it out. Don't even think about messing with the cards while I'm gone. I won't. Hurry back. Ain't no bones for giving a rat's arse. So it beats me what he's so eager about. God, I wish I could have gotten hired at a place that paid a little better. Am I seeing things? I swear I just saw something move. You! On the wall! Get down from there! What do you think you're doing? You're not supposed to be up here. Put the knife away before I...
Ha! You're up here playing cards and you have the nerve to call yourself a guard? I expected resistance to be light, but not this bad. I should take care of this and get out of here before the other one returns. It's amazing how much better a knife feels in my hand than a sword. So much easier to handle. Though it's not much help if they manage to draw on me first. Maybe I'll ask Gratian to teach me how to use a sword if we both make it through the day. I hate the idea of giving him any more reason to claim superiority over me, but I can't think of anyone better than him. Keeping an eye on my surroundings, I climbed up onto the watchtower. I could hear shouting in the distance. It seemed Gratian was doing his job. I pulled a brightly colored cloth from my pocket and affixed it to the highest point in the tower. As it began flapping in the wind, I turned my attention toward a hill in the distance. A group of tiny dots emerged from behind a rock formation, heading this way. I let out a sigh of relief. Next up, time to make some noise.
Backup! We need backup! The slaves are revolting!
Revolting? Are you serious?
What do you think you're carrying that damn sword for? You shouldn't need backup, just put them down. Yes, but there's too many of them. And they're not messing around either. They're stampeding right through us. They don't care how many of them die. And one of them is practically a giant.
Oh, quit pissing yourself over a bunch of damn slaves. Who cares how big one of them is? They're not armed, just...
Be... Behind you!
Huh?
Sorry to disappoint you, but we are armed. Maybe you should consider posting another couple of guards in front of your armory. Eek! There he is! There he is! There he is! Come on, little man. Let's see what you got. Ah! You're no fun. Anywho, get these gates open, boys. Yeah! Oh, I take it those are Jacopo's people. Kid actually did his job instead of booking it the hell out of here. Good on him. Of course, that's exactly what I was gonna do if I didn't see his people when we opened the gates. Guess he actually is good for his word. Which means I'm sticking through to the very end. Hey, take out as many of the bastards as you can on your way in, and be thorough. We want a clean escape, and we don't want to give them a chance to surround us. Keep at it. Don't let them get organized. If we fuck this up with the ass pipe, it's the gallows for all of us. If you need a weapon, grab a rock, a vase, a fucking decapitated head, anything you can find.
Gratian, how are things progressing?
Smooth as a baby's behind. Your reinforcements are here making right good work of the guards and getting as many slaves out as they can.
Glad to hear it. Then let's head down to the Great Hall.
Aye, let's. I'd like nothing more than to rip the Lord's head right off his shoulders.
The point is not to kill the Lord. It's to deal just enough of a blow that he stops throwing so many damn banquets. For now, anyway.
And what if I trip and my sword just happens to run him through?
I'd rather you didn't if at all possible, but whatever happens, happens.
Alright, let's do this. Yeah!
Is it just me, or is it unnaturally noisy in there? Did some of the others beat us to it, maybe?
As far as I know, we're the first ones here.
Well, I guess we'll find out. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Chaos reigned over the manor. But the chaos in the hall where the Lord held his banquet was of a slightly different flavor. A buzz filled the room. Noblemen and women murmured, shuffling backwards, putting distance between each other, tossing goblets to the ground. As Gratian had suspected, we were the first ones there. So why was everyone so tense? Whatever the cause of the disturbance, it seemed it was at least partially to thank for things proceeding so smoothly. The question is, what is happening here? Out of the corner of my eye, I caught sight of the Lord. He stomped over toward the far end of the hall. Sitting atop the makeshift altar was the same young girl I had seen a week prior. For a brief moment, relief came over me at the knowledge she was still alive. But that relief quickly morphed into dread. You! He unlocked the shackles behind the girl. Too weak to hold herself up, she fell forward into a slump, her long burgundy hair fanning out around her limp body. And then... You're a damned witch wearing a saint's skin! The Lord raised his sword high above his head. Gratian, I'll be borrowing that. What? Hey! You little son of a... What? I hurled Gratian's long sword for the Lord, knocking his blade from his hands. The two swords rattled to the ground. I tossed my gaze to the girl for a split second. She was very clearly out of it, but she seemed to be breathing. Finally realizing a pair of slaves had just burst in on them, the nobles panicked, and one of them started shouting for the guards. Well, fuck me sideways. There goes any chance we had at a surprise attack, damn it all. And we had the perfect distraction, too. Ah, the hell with it. Get in here, boys. Yeah! Oh, wait a sec. Need my sword first. The next second, the room was enveloped in a cacophony of shouting and screaming and clanging. Most of the nobles carried swords, but very few actually seemed to have any idea how to use them, the majority scrambling for the back exit. You insolent worm! Who do you think I am? To threaten your lord is to slight God. Humph, ever the cocky bastard, I see. Tell me, do you have any idea what's happening right now? Silence, cur! You will regret ever defying me. Ha! Nothing more original, you third-rate fairy tale villain. I was the one who had said the Lord's death was not part of the plan. Yet here I was, going straight for him. Gratian was absolutely right. The Lord had been distracted with the girl when we arrived, but I had thrown that advantage away. I'd seen God knows how many slaves killed in hardly 2 weeks' time. Adding another body to the pile shouldn't have fazed me one bit. Logically, there was no reason for me to care. But I couldn't just leave her. And of course, now that I'd picked a fight with the Lord, I had no choice but to follow through to the very end. I dashed for the Lord,
scooping up one of the dropped swords and swinging it down on him. But my blade cut through nothing but air. I had assumed he would be a pushover, another noble obsessed with money and power and helpless to defend himself. So there was no hiding the look of shock on my face. Damn, he can move. Barnier slid out of range, swiping the remaining sword off the ground and whipping it through the air with practiced grace. Perhaps you should have saved the snide yapping for when you had the skill to back it up, insignificant cur. Ha, we'll see if you still feel the same way when I'm through with you. I closed the gap. We clashed. He swung, I parried. Steel and steel ripped through hot air, carving ephemeral silver arcs in empty space. Our blades locked. What are you hoping to accomplish with this revolt? What's your endgame?
My endgame? To get out of this hellhole and be free from slavery once and for all.
I have my doubts about whether you ever were a slave at all. But no matter. Why attack me? What do you care about the girl? What do you have to gain from saving her?
He's right. I have nothing to gain from rescuing the girl. All I've accomplished is making this whole process needlessly messy. That said, do I need to have something to gain? Are you saying I should just sit back and watch as you murder an innocent little girl? I was angry, and I thought I'd do something about it. Nothing more, nothing less. Is that really so hard to understand?
Nothing more than a childish hero complex. Just the answer I would expect from a foolish little boy with his head in the clouds.
Excuse me?
You're a puny worm, powerless to truly save anyone. You merely want to help the girl so you can pat yourself on the back and pretend you did a good deed. You simply want an excuse to be proud of your worthless self. Look at her. The girl's hardly even breathing. She'll be dead soon enough, with or without my help.
And who do you think is to blame for that? You don't have any right to judge the value of her life.
My role in this is irrelevant. Was saving a dead girl part of the plan? It wasn't, was it? Diverged from the script to rescue a girl whose life is of no worth to you whatsoever. Also, you can momentarily feel good about yourself. That misstep will be the downfall of you, worm. Enough! I'll put you back in the ground where you belong!
Hurt? Not a chance. God damn. For a flamboyantly dressed asshole, he sure can fight. There's not nearly as much force behind his swing as Gratian's, but he's quick. I can barely keep up, let alone react.
I hope you enjoy eternity in hell. You'll have plenty of time to reflect on your little lapse in judgment.
Damn it. I can't let this bastard kill me when we're so close to succeeding. I need to keep my cool. Yes, he's got me beat in agility, but Gratian's a much more skilled swordsman than him. I can handle this.
Sheer determination can only mask a lack of skill for so long, boy. Look at yourself. You're out of breath. That sword you're flailing around is getting heavier and heavier. Shut your mouth, damn it. I've hardly even broken a sweat. I will. I swear to God, I will have your head. Ah. Lord Barnier! Lord Barnier! Your escape has been secured, my lord. It seems our fun is over. Be grateful you're still breathing, cur.
Hey, wait! We're not done yet. Get back here, goddamn you! I made to go after him, but in an instant, a wall of guards had formed between us. Traces of fear were visible in most of their eyes. Even exhausted as I was, I could have probably made it through. But before I could so much as consider attempting to give chase, I caught a glimpse of the girl, limp, covered in gashes, causing me to come back to my senses. He's gotten into me. There's no point in going after him. The slaves have been freed and his valuables plundered. The plan was a huge success. What I should be concerned with now is getting myself out of here. I need to stay focused. I took a moment to survey the hall, reevaluate the situation. Things had progressed somewhat since I had gotten it in my head to go after the Lord. Many of the slaves were gone, and the guards were beginning to mobilize. They were better equipped, trained, and more fit than us. And we were, for the most part, fueled entirely by determination and righteous anger, which would only go so far in direct combat. Gratienne was probably the only one on our side with any sort of real training. One man was not enough to win this fight, especially now that our main advantage, surprise, was exhausted. Hey, Jacopo! If you're all finished with your business, I'd really like to get the hell out of here. I may be a badass, but I ain't a god. Right, yeah. Sorry for the hold-up. Okay. Before regrouping with Gratienne, I knelt before the girl. Hello? Can you stand? Hello? Can you hear me? Okay. Let me stop here. Alright, thanks for watching. I will try to stream again tomorrow.